This is my home studio setup, a workspace I've been gradually building and improving for over 4 years. Since beginning this project, I've spent over $10,000 buying some of the best recording gear out there. But over time, I've learned that buying better gear doesn't really result in me making better music. Don't get me wrong, buying good quality equipment will always help and be worth it down the line, but good quality doesn't always have to be expensive. This is a quality home studio setup I put together with a $1,500 budget. I know for most of us it's still too expensive, but I believe there is a way around it. Yep, secondhand is a great way to get quality recording gear for cheaper. And when I say cheaper, we're going to try and put together something similar to this for less than $350. Let's go. So to start things off, we need to make a list of all of the gear that we need. Assuming we already have a desk and a chair, we're gonna need some sort of computer, music production software, an audio interface, studio monitors, headphones, a microphone, MIDI keyboard. Wow. I think I'm just realizing how hard this is going to be with such a tight budget. Well, only one way to find out. Okay, $300 on the board, let's get shopping. So the first item that we need for our $300 home studio is a laptop or a desktop PC. And I have decided to rather go for a laptop because we don't want to worry about an external monitor, additional mouse and keyboard because they are additional costs. And when you are on a $300 budget, you only want to buy what you need. Having a look at some of the options available, I do see quite a few Lenovo IdeaPads, which is actually a laptop that I used when I first started making music. So I know that these type of laptops can run music production software pretty smoothly, and they are at a pretty good price. We're looking at around $70 is one of the options here, and it's actually one of the computers that I think would be able to do the job. It has an i5 processor, it has 4 gigabytes of RAM. We would want 8 gigabytes of RAM, but I mean RAM is something that is pretty expensive. If you go to 8 gigabytes of RAM, you're definitely going to go up in price by maybe $100 to $150. So to get this option at around $75, and also no one is bidding for it, it's not on an auction, so it's something we can put in our cart right away. I think it's definitely a great option to go for. $75, let's add it to the cart. Moving on to the next item on our list, we need an audio interface for our $300 setup. It's very important because there's no other way for us to connect a microphone, headphones, studio monitors to our computer. For under $50, there are quite a few cool options here. We are focusing on brands like Focusrite, PreSonus, maybe even Audient, Arteria. These are usually the brands that make good budget options that could be even cheaper secondhand on eBay. I do see a Focusrite Scarlett 2i4 for $20, which is definitely a steal because brand new this will sell for around $150. The catch though is that it is on an auction, so there is still 2 days left on this auction. There is a bid, and if we bid on it, it's probably going to get more expensive as time gets closer to the deadline. So I'm just going to add this to the watch list. We just keep an eye on this because if we can get this for under $30, under $40, it will definitely be a great find for our $300 setup. So we now have our laptop, we have an audio interface. The next item that we need for our home studio is a quality pair of studio monitors. It is difficult to get a pair of studio monitors that are bigger than 5 inches for around $100, maybe $150 because our budget in total is $300. But I'm going to try and find something that could work. There are so many PreSonus options, there are M Audio options, there is Alesis options. I do actually see a pair of PreSonus R65 AMT studio monitors that are around $100. It is an auction and there is still 3 days left, so we're definitely gonna have to wait it out. But these studio monitors are actually worth $400 brand new, and they have a 6-inch cone, so definitely a quality decent studio monitor. It's not a multimedia speaker, but like I said, it is an auction and there are already bids on it, so we're gonna have to see if we can get this $105 price at maybe $150. If it goes to $170, I still think it will be worth the purchase overall because it is not a multimedia speaker, it is a studio monitor. So let's add this to the watch list and see if we can actually get this one down the line. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it is very difficult to get a quality pair of studio monitors for under $150. And if you would rather want to save up your money and get the exact pair that you want later on, it's better to take the money that you have now and buy a quality pair of headphones instead. And for this $300 budget, I'm looking at a few quality pairs for under $50. I did have a look at Bear Dynamic, but the price is just too expensive even at an auction. And I've ended up looking at Audio Technica options that are actually falling well under $40. I have a pair of ATH M40Xs for $28, and these headphones value for around $100 brand new, so it's definitely a great option. I know that they sound good because I personally have a pair, and there's only a day and 17 hours left. 0 bids on these headphones, so these headphones are definitely going to be an option for us that we can get for under $30. If we don't get these for under $50, I do see a pair of ATH M50s for around $30. There is 3 days left on this one, and there's also 0 bids. So if we can get the ATH M50s for around $35-40, if we don't get the M40Xs, both of these options are great options to go for. So I'm going to put both of them in a watch list, and hopefully we can get one of these pairs for our setup. The final 2 items that we need to complete our $300 home studio setup is a condenser microphone and a MIDI keyboard. For under $50, there are quite a few good options in each category. Firstly, having a look at the condenser microphones available, I do see an Audio Technica AT2020 that is around $40. There's only an hour left in the bid, and there's only 2 bids left. So this is a $100 microphone that we could possibly get for around $45. Definitely something I'm going to put a watch on. And then in terms of our MIDI keyboard, I do see an Akai MPK Mini on auction for around $20. There is still 2 days left, and there is 9 bids on this auction, so the price will definitely go up in the next day or so by at least $10 to $20. But if we can get this for around $40 maximum, I do think that it will be a steal, because brand new they cost around $100, and Akai make great MIDI keyboards. So this won't just be a cheap crappy purchase, it is a quality product. Okay, so I think we've covered all the gear that we need for our $300 setup. Time to make a few bids, maybe find a few other options out there, and see what we can put together in a week's time. So the gear has arrived. It's time to unbox and start setting up. Let's go. Gotta have an artificial plant. So starting off with the good news, the laptop that we got runs smoothly, and I just installed a demo version of Cubase and everything seems to be running smoothly. Our audio interface is in great condition, also different as you can see. The studio monitors are in great condition. I won't lie, the price that I paid for these, absolute steal. Our MIDI keyboard is probably in the best condition. The headphones have a bit of wear and tear, and the mic does have a few scratches, but in general I'm really happy with what we got. Now it's easy to say that everything works, but the only way to really prove it is by making some music. Hold on to me, don't let me go. Just stick around for a while, cause life is too short. So I've decided to record the vocals and the acoustic guitar first, so that when we start adding VST instruments, because this laptop is not so powerful, we can try and avoid audio dropouts. Hold on to me, don't let me go. Stick around for a while, cause life is too short. When I turn 85, I'll stay outside your door. So yeah, this setup can definitely put together a decent song, just don't forget to save your project. Now, the final question, do we stick to our goal of keeping all costs under $350? I had to pick a different laptop which cost us $100, the audio interface was cheaper than planned, costing $30, and the studio monitors were a little over budget, winning the bid at $165. The microphone and MIDI keyboard cost $40 each, with the headphones coming in at only $30. Now, if you had to buy these exact items brand new, the computer would cost you $370, audio interface $100, studio monitors $660, headphones $170, microphone and MIDI keyboard around $100 each. So yeah, we didn't successfully build a quality home studio for under $350, but we came really close. It just shows that quality doesn't always have to be expensive.